rest of the world consistently in all 12 quarters of last year, recording 3.8 in the fourth quarter of last year. This is over 2023, 95% to our growth figures. Population is growing, well supported to create significant growth in the economy. Strategic growth of the gas utilization, the achievement of becoming energy from the trade war. In addition, expand in the past because we thought they were peripheral, the middle past because we thought they were peripheral, the middle agriculture suggests structural gaps. Wondering, this pause follows 14.6% and easing of rates. Private sector is in a political environment. Stability deployed and gradually ease in the second half of the plans. Protect advise that rates of the real sector, which comprises about inflation is here. 4% in boosting food production, a national agricultural production industry in effect all the other efforts around security will not achieve their results. Security will not achieve their results. With the headline inflation rising again, the hope of inflation rising again, the hope of seeing a reduction, estimated disruptions to global case, the issue of security is not addressed. In the first quarter of this year, initiated just marginally by 0.1%. Compared to the paramount stability, both in the exchange rates and the margin between the parallel markets and the official markets. The Chamber recognizes the stability of production of the electricity demand pressures that have been made in official markets. The Chamber recognizes the stability of production of the and that definitely the danger of results decline by. We are watching closely. We trade that there are very significant disruptions in the medium to long term, which can put more pressure on receipts and how that may affect the naira rates and the dollar. This of February and Christian 2024 budget for debt 1.52, which of the GDP. Chamber notes, given that the service plus the current revenue for implementation to attract private investment capacity for current expenditure, is tax reforms to secure. Nigeria rose to 149%. The country's debt is put reflects improvement in government for productive purposes. Government to rebasic Nigeria as collaterals. In an era where it must take necessary steps, the fundamental changes are inherited to boost cybersecurity and economy to flourish. Losses, options often caused by road expansions and private development for a more businesses, developing the tech sector, and replace initiatives like great employment-driven data center, boosting the productivity of the ICT sector. Support these additional areas. Its policy reverses crude production, refined low 70. Today, it not meet the actual production need for the federal government in order to preserve existing production capacity, to show the entity for better performance. Two, sustain the cheaper of our local refinery have reduced the pressure conducive regulatory environment devoid of investors in the sector. The efficiencies that justify this will enhance operational efficiency investors. Finally, policy consistency, success. Refineries, big and small road regime situations that are predictable this year. Those have continued to suffer in higher tariffs on electricity. Due to debt overhang, the Chamber has continued to call on the government to attracting more investment into the renewable energy space and creating an enabling environment for the states to drive electricity generation in their aspiration to achieve a 1 trillion to commercial partnerships and an environment that we expect to see more states, with more states depending. Addressing critical is a major concern to the bill. It's large as this comprehensive reform, Nigeria's taxing percent, in fact, 50% national development. security and inflation challenges, improvements, full prices in their local domains, being important, well equipped to support the production of finished Nigeria's issue in architecture. The exclusive lists of the federal governmental issues security cannot be. In fact, all the state governments' action be taken for the Naira, the removal of Swiss. We call it by the significant flaws have been predicted, and we expect that government will take proactive action at all levels, federal, state, and local government. We should be proactive in hand growing. We reiterate our call on government to use this period of declared national emergency to deal with hindrances to agricultural industries. Real due to foreign exchange challenges, bureaucratic that has significantly improved in the issue of land titles, exorbitant approval fees, compounding the viability of real estate conflicts, project budgets, tenancy burdens, no moral punitive to investors, sustains investment in the sector on a regular, predictable basis across the three levels of government: port efficiency and trade facility, cost of operations at the ports. In the last quarter, stakeholders faced two significant cost burdens: 4% levy introduced by Nigerian customs and a 15% hike in service charges. But NPS increase remains national operators to shipping companies and the financial strain on imports. Another major concern: trucks are given priority, thereby in the port space. Additionally, without a phased implementation strategy, we demand a more structured, especially those charged consistently called government agencies, currency of this country's Naira, and some even government agencies charging US dollars for services rendered in Nigeria. Equally critical is the urgent need to deploy by terminal operators and integrated lower demurrage ports in our neighboring countries are more efficient. Quicker good clearance will undergo physical examination, reducing human interference and curbing corruption. In most parts of the world, there is of illegal activity checking. Multiple strongly advocate for it, which if executed collection to continue supporting time. A good example of that is the efforts to enhance retail connectivity will reduce our reliance on road college. Lastly, it's imperative that government and facilitation is important for all regulatory nations and also is to the brink of closure. And this continue to grapple with rising unresolved meter-related meters. With calling on the relevant authority and metering and access to a predictable tariff management system. In conclusion, distinguished towards creating an enabling investments, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce challenges to enable these major to the people of this country. In the context of our national interest, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce shall continue to engage government agencies, the media, and other continue to assess
issues addressed. My professional colleagues, and I believe we have one or two. Here at the Chamber, we are a non-partisan organization, so we would not like to get into what political party should do. If you have a question and your question, so just like to take 2 or 3 questions, I'm told the president should be on his way out for an event. Taiwo, I know you have your questions. Please keep it short. I'll give an opportunity to ask a very important one too that the president can answer.
What? Good afternoon, sir. So the first question, the key challenges that we have in the country about this, the solutions and how we can really navigate this out. That US tariff, because we know that this of the economy. If it's really the Chinese government in which Nigeria, if you look at this war between another reemergence of God during between China and I will not like and the US increases to 24 immensely to this increase. Stuff. The minister of about the food prices are playing a key role in order to 24 points.
If I allow you, I see a list of what you have there. Do you have any other questions? Okay, Justin.
TV Africa. My questions will just be on domestic growth strategy. I've written just two here. Now, despite GDP growth, unemployment and poverty remain high. What policies would you recommend to drive inclusive growth? And the second would be, what specific...
Thank you, Justin. Yes, Mr. President, we would just like you to address these questions. I believe there are no other questions.
Okay, policy and inclusive growth and incentives for manufacturing and which other sector? Agriculture will speak to inflation. Lcci will speak on policy and because this is something we're always talking about on policies around inclusive growth. And then vice agriculture. I will speak to the US tariff. The president will add we are getting what the government, because as a chamber we are always looking at that. So let us start with the tariff. And America is less than 3%. So the direct trade between the two countries. So the direct exports we do to America, which is a big figure by them in the press conference, are now redirecting their efforts. And for sources of products not left out of that and that is going on. And so of the tariff on countries that China, our biggest for some of their exports have become much more aggressive to countries like Nigeria, to countries in Europe, to countries in Central, in expanding, is engaged. But that is where the world is going. As far as carry, well, we are there because America, general approach is to say what have been going to continue. Yeah, but in America, the global GDP go down to the global GDP. The indirect effects. That is where we are.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. To respond to the inflation issues has caused a global and rightly evident data like you evidently is an indication may have increased, but I fully agree. I say that is a source of concern because of our food baskets, particularly the greater attempts at trying to ensure security would not lead to another disaster where we have high food prices. Because food productions now where we find farmers being effort at greater security, like had been expressed in Plateau State, pronouncements are being made. I guess we should make sure that surrounds our food baskets. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good afternoon to the media partners. For us to have inclusive many different issues, today we always talk about diversification. We need to be possible in terms of policy, but also comments that infrastructure, because of the way the budget is structured, to do well. So that's one area, particular attention begin to do well. Now we also have to think about, in the last couple of months, we've had the monetary policies and the fact that the intentional, the only way we can assure that the economy will begin to do well or begin to increase. So those that uncertainty around our regulation are uncertain about what's going to happen. We'll put another one out. So we need working well. The regulatory agencies must understand how they support businesses, not just make regulation, but regulations that will support and boost business. Just speak to the issue of the strategic sectors. So there are sectors that support a lot of other sectors. For instance, power. We have to get power. Talk about power in services, and once it gets working, enabled by technology, we can do efficiently, appropriately. So connectivity is help and support the larger economies. A lot of times we don't help SMEs get the poverty reduction. So it's multifaceted, the economy and what government needs to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy President, we have addressed that we are hearing from government. For that, the job, how that is going on.
Of your 7 questions to have what we can call just as what we need to have somebody that has taken or do I have access to solving problem, power problem of the site can be access to any of the government we are talking to and generally we cannot leave one area in the nation where we have a cooperative set of their power from national grid to a village. These are the people.
Finally,
Mr. President, we should stop confusing the regulatory bodies. They are giving these regulatory bodies, they are distracted. 4%, and yes, of course, you know about it. The atmosphere is manufactured. They give them. It's not even. You are robbing Peter to pay Paul, and these regulatory bodies, they are on our neck. At times, as Kelter, because the money is there, they are always coming production and causing manufacturing companies go to African countries. So the government they are doing, let them regulate mobility and these bills is passed down to the consumer. And we are the giants. They are very, very aggressive. So my parastatals. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have a follow-up?
Because we know that now, you said as the banned, then WTO is shouting, they're complaining that most of the US, China, and US.
the nexus between a health epidemic and these tariffs. Some of the research that US did that say that there's programs for investments, and you are right in this, but it's easier to have a reason from that to happen because of lower price issues, departure of the US from to what indirect.
My colleagues for this period, publication, so I'll move closer in. Yeah. Okay, good. Are we good? Leadership, the chamber appreciates